Hi, my name is Michael Bean. I have been an acting teacher for, depends on how you count, 20 years, coming up on 20 years now. This is your free lesson for myfreeactingclass.com what is today? Tuesday, November the 24th. Today, we are going to be looking at short scripts. And one of the things I love about these acting classes, we cover a lot of ground. Yesterday was self-tape review. So Mondays, we review self-tapes. We looked at one from a young actor. It was the tape that sort of earned her a callback for a Disney commercial. And they were like, great, you're fantastic. Can you fly down to LA tomorrow? And so you get to see what that kind of tape looks like. Spoiler alert, it's not perfect. That's what's so wonderful about it. And big thanks to Mara for sharing that with us. And then another one where an actor who's been contributing self-tapes regularly did two different versions of a monologue. And so you can give us an opportunity to talk about doing one take versus two takes and auditions. And I just finished uploading that to YouTube today. So you can find video from past lessons just by going to myfreeactingclass.com. And there's a link there that says video, and that'll take you right to the YouTube channel with, there's coming up on 8 months of videos there now. So you got lots of options to choose from. Today, I want to spend some time going over short scripts, but I also want to just entice you first by letting you know what's coming. So tomorrow we have David C. Jones, who currently is an instructor at the Vancouver Film School. He is I don't know what the right word, currently he's apprenticing to join the Directors Guild of Canada. He was one of my mentors. He's at that time was running a comedy and improv company. He has been one of Vancouver's funniest people. He's emceed hundreds of events. He has performed all around the world doing improv and live performance. He also has a film and TV resume. And like I say, he teaches at the Vancouver Film School. So he'll be here to talk about improvisation, improv, and particularly improv and film. And then just because he happens to be in this process right now of shadowing directors on set and getting the sort of equipment the experience that he needs to getting the experience that he needs to join the Directors Guild. I'm also excited to ask him a little bit about that and what he's learning, because this is somebody who has a very extensive career in all sorts of different kinds of performance, professional theater, improv, film and TV, and now directing. And my hope is that he'll have some new perspective to add for us there. And then Thursday is going to be our Ask Me Anything. So please come with your good questions, because historically, in the past couple of weeks, especially, some of the best lessons, or the lessons that I've felt the best and most useful about, came from questions that originally were part of one of those Ask Me Anything sessions. Oh, hey, one more thing. If you get a chance, Casting Workbook, and I've talked about these before, Casting Workbook has their labs with Omari Newton. You know what? I should just pull up the link. They're doing a session on Thursday about diversity. And I wish I could be there. Honestly, my impulse is to contact them and say, hey, can I can I record it, and play it back? Honestly, I would just play back their session, if I could. So here's that. This is completely free. It's with 3 different actors, Rukia Bernard, Viv Leacock, and then Omari Newton, who's the host. And I'm very excited about this one. So it's Thursday from 12 o'clock. Ask Me Anything, and they're going to be talking about diversity. Rukia actually asked to come be a guest here because she had a post sort of right in the height of the Black Lives Matter, kind of social unrest that was happening in the States, called Dear Becky, written from the perspective of the perennial Black best friend, in TV movie after TV movie, which is what she's played over and over again. And I was like, hey, would you be willing to be a guest on the free lesson? And so this is that plus more. This is going to be at least an hour. I don't know how long they usually run, but Rukia is very, very experienced. Viv is very, very experienced. Omari is very, very experienced. Yeah, and so I wish I could be there for that. And I'm going to put that link in the chat window. So take a look at that if you want to sign up. It is completely free. It's part of what Casting Workbook is doing. And I'm sure they're probably using it to like angle, for people to go take their paid classes or something. Maybe it's unduly cynical of me to think that there's an angle, but the people or Omari, who is hosting, fabulous human, lots to offer. So now let's take a look at some scripts. Pulled a couple of. We'll start with one from a project called Numb. So this is a dream sequence. Doctor, we haven't looked at short scripts for a while, and I think that they are particularly challenging. One of the things that came up when we were talking about deliberate practice. Hey, Caden, you're here. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in ages. I pulled like a special short script just for you because I was like, man, Kate, the last couple of lessons Caden's come to, he's had to like sit while we like talked about like serious adult stuff, and I want to give him a chance to play. Love the new haircut, by the way. So let's look at this one from Numb. So, Lori, are you in a position to read the doctor role on this one? Even if you don't turn your video on, we'll.
Yes, I'm putting my video on.
Fantastic. And Christina.
Oopie, wrong way.
Christina, will you be what's the character's name? Hudson. Okay, great. The
frame help.
So here it is, coming up. Project is called Numb. I will read all of the stage direction. So we've got page 17 in the script. This is one of those little clues that I like to look at that I've talked about before. You don't always get these. Sometimes they've sort of cut and pasted them, but if you do, it shows you sort of where you are in the episode. So if this was a TV show, it would mean, or a movie, it would mean we're near the beginning. It's typically about a minute a page. So in a TV show, it means you're about a quarter of the way through. If this is a TV movie or movie, that's going to be, say, like somewhere between 90 and 120 pages, it means we're very, very early. So we read the crossed out part because it's important information. Female psychologist. I don't see anything wrong with your son at all. In fact, stifles a giggle. I find him to be the most charming young man I've ever met. And he has some wonderful magic tricks. Audrey. And what about his night terrors, his fear of leaving the basement, his legs hurting for no reason? Female psychologist. Perhaps we should discuss sending him into freezing cold rain with a packed suitcase. On Audrey, face tightening with Mary Tyler Moore-like intensity from ordinary people. Now, if you were preparing, basically this was part of your script, then you would need to look this up. And it would be really straightforward to just type this in and go, oh my gosh, what does that mean? Mary Tyler Moore, ordinary people, intensity. And you'd probably throw that into YouTube, and it would take you 2 minutes of casting around before you found exactly what they were talking about. The writer feels like they are being very, very clear. If you're a young person and you get a note like this, which sometimes will happen, basically like the writer's some dude in his 30s who just is not considering that he's using a cultural reference that's not going to make any sense to the people reading the script. This is what YouTube is for. Thankfully, research is so easy at this point. Interior sanatorium day. You'd want to look up the word sanatorium and go, okay, it's a place for people with mental disorders. And it's like a particularly old word, so it might even mean that this is sort of set quite a bit in the past. Hudson, arms and legs secured to a gurney with thick leather straps, is violently wheeled into a cold, ominous room by 4 large orderlies. Again, if you're the young person playing Hudson and you don't know what a gurney is and you don't know what the word ominous means, very important to look these up because otherwise you're going to miss the tone of the show. And then this is you, Christina.
What are you doing? She said I was charming.
Do you see how it's all in capital letters?
Oh, so that means like he's kind of like
shouting at the top of his, freaking out. Yeah.
What are you doing? She said I was charming.
Good. And now you did a thing that is really, really normal with actors, which is you started big and then you faded off. Probably because you made yourself nervous, by like starting big. But what you want to do is start big and end bigger. Especially the end of it needs to be strong. So one more time.
What are you doing? She said I was charming.
Good. And if we were going to get really nitpicky, and if you have the chance to go back and look at this video, you'll hear that you still faded off very slightly on the very last word, which is something that happens to lots of actors, not just young folks, but adults in my class do it as well. And it's just something that's worth noticing and being aware of. A doctor slams a piece of rubber tubing into Hudson's mouth. Lori, thanks for waiting. This is you. Lori? Okay, we've lost Lori.
There we go. Got it.
And she's back.
And she's back, and then she's waiting for the script. There we go. Wow. But your mother didn't. She had electroshock therapy, and now it's your turn.
Help me.
Hudson squirms but can't move.
Clear.
The orderlies back off as the doctor jams Hudson's fingers into a nearby light socket. The sound of painful electricity crackling, the room lights flickering as we cut to interior Hudson's bedroom, present night. Hudson's eyes pop open from this nightmare. Okay, so this is the doctor, the only time they appear in this. These are the doctor's actual sides from the audition. They're just part of a nightmare. So the line is, but your mother didn't. She had electroshock therapy, and now it's your turn. If you're playing the doctor, in this, then your job is to be as terrifying as humanly possible, right? And probably it is not. You don't want to be comical, but it is okay, to be quite broad. Right, like to be sort of deliberately evil, on this one. So again, that line, if we just use the first part of the line, which is, but your mother didn't. If you're approaching this, one of the reasons I wanted to tackle it today is because of the physicality of it. So Lori said that you're okay playing with us and being our doctor.
Oh yeah, but your mother didn't.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it. And so. An important part is the orderlies wheel him in and you stuff something in his mouth. And so if you want to put the whatever it is you've got in your hands down, so you have your hands, so you have access.
Sure, it's the script. It's easy. I don't need that.
Yeah, exactly. Because this is the physicality that I'm really interested in. Incidentally, we haven't seen a lot of like close-ups of folks with ring lights. Look what it does to her eyeballs. Isn't that cool? Yeah. It's
I
like,
really have my hair drawn back.
Oh yeah. Well, and thinking about sort of like what would you do wardrobe wise, with this is sort of part of telling the character. So if you imagine your own wardrobe, Lori, what would you do for this if you were auditioning for the doctor?
I don't have too much, but if I had a lab coat, I'd wear that. Button-up shirt of some kind, something severe. Right.
So button-up shirt, something severe, and even if you had a lab coat, my recommendation would be that you don't wear it.
Yeah.
I auditioned personally for a lot of doctors, and I've been told repeatedly, by casting directors, because I've asked them, because I've had them come to workshops for my classes so many times, that they don't want that sort of next level of like dressing the part, because they want to look at you and be like, you know what, this person sort of isn't right for the doctor. They're not the right fit for the doctor, but we're going to see them for, the dad. We're going to see them for the mom or for the CEO or for the, right. And if you give them the lab coat, then the risk is they look at that and they're like, all they can see is doctor. Okay, so Lori, one of the things that I really like is giving yourself resistance down where the camera can't see. So especially if you want to be like pinning the struggling kid, put him right between you and the camera. As the orderlies wheel him in, the more delighted you can be about that, the better. And just your delight, will read as evil. You don't have to be evil. You just have to be delighted. The situation will then make that delight evil. And then if you can manage ease and delight while your body is telling us vigorous and violent, which you can do by giving yourself resistance. So what I want you to do is like grab your own hand and stuff the thing in his mouth, and then you're going to the one line, and so start with your eye line for sort of where the gurney is going to start, and then just show me the sort of tracking of where from that to where the eye line comes into. And so then he wheels it in. Exactly. Great. And for those of you watching, you see how her eyes went kind of like ka-chunk, ka-chunk. One of the things technically that if you're tracking somebody in, track along the back wall, like track along actual things, even though they're quite a bit further away, because they'll smooth out the tracking, between your eye line and where you're going. Yeah. Great. So a reminder of the one line is, but your mother didn't, and then you just can, and then you're going to grab his finger and jam it into a light socket. Stand by. I know you're a terrible person. Thank you for playing with us. And action. No, what are you doing? No, she said it was charming. And grab him and stuff the thing in his mouth. Yep.
But your mother didn't. She had electroshock therapy, and now it's your turn.
Stack. Right. And then the Duke, how do you feel about giving us your version of the evil doctor?
Sure.
Right.
I didn't see the script.
I'll show it to you again, but you don't worry about giving us the whole line. You really just have, but your mother didn't. So the doctor slams a piece of rubber tubing in Hudson's mouth, and even if you use just, but your mother didn't. It's just for the purposes of like seeing that each person is going to bring something different at something like this. And so let me see the eye line for where the orderlies are bringing him in. And then track from there to sort of directly beside the camera, which is where the Hudson is going to end up. Just for practice, let me see that. Yeah, exactly. And we want him to end up not directly at the camera, but just slightly to one side. Great. And so same thing. The more if you can just simply enjoy it, but then give yourself the vigorous physicality of pulling against one wrist with your other hand, that'll look like you stuffing something in the guy's mouth. And the tension in that is likely to read as violent. Then you don't have to do any work to be violent. Stand by. Stand by and action. What are you doing? She said I was charming. Gah! Gah!
But your mother wasn't, was she? Now it's your turn for electroshock therapy.
Right? So terrifying, so wonderful, and so different. So great. The Duke, thank you so much for being a demo for us. You can see how just like the ease that Duke brought to it because of the context, the story plus the violence in the behavior and the violence in the words, that's where the terror comes from. Now Duke can be the nicest person in the world. Like Laurie can be the nicest person in the world. You can still tell the story nice and cleanly. Okay, now I told you we'd do another one so that Caden had something to play with. So, Caden, you're going to need to stand up for this one, but this one's really fun and silly. It's actually written for somebody a little bit older, but Christine, I'd love to get you to demo this one as well. But you're going to need to be standing up, so you're going to need to set your camera up so that you're standing. This is a commercial script from a company called Sport Check. Commercials from a while ago. So, Venture Communications, TV concepts, length 8 to 12 seconds, client Sport Check. Right, so this is the ad agency. That's my assumption. One of the reasons that commercial scripts have very oh shoot, where are we? One of the reasons that sorry, I'm getting a lot of background noise. Laurie, can you please mute yourself? For some reason, I can't mute you.
I'm muted.
Now you're muted. There we go. Thank you. Okay. So this is from the ad agency. One of the reasons that commercials have wildly different formatting is because each ad agency kind of does their own thing. They have their own way of doing things. Film and TV is very different. Film and TV, most of those people have studied it, and certainly they've studied professional scripts, and so the formatting is very consistent. The slide A metal gate is coming down as a sport check in a mall is being closed for the day. With only a couple of feet to go before touching the ground, a woman slides underneath. She's got a flyer in her hand and she's out of breath. The sport check employee looks down at her. She shakes the flyer and says, "I am here for the sale," 2 exclamation points. The employee responds with, the sale's on all week. She slinks back out under the door. And then VO is voiceover, "Get into the sport check now for sale name." So the line is, "I am here for the sale." But really the audition is both the like sliding in under the door, the like urgency for the sale, and then the slinking, which if you didn't know what it meant, it would be important to look it up, young folks, or ask an adult, but really also probably a good idea to look it up. And so it's the like enthusiasm, bah, and then the reaction. Oh yeah, right. Embarrassment. Okay. Ha ha ha. Be back then. Right. It's 8 to 12 seconds, for the entire spot, including the voiceover, including the logos. And this is really normal for commercials, is you're getting very big, broad reactions, that they want to sort of believe, but you're getting them in a very short span of time. Okay. So Caden, your line is, "I'm here for the sale." So you're going to want to start off in the corner. You're going to need to unmute yourself first so I can hear you. You're going to, now, normally I would have you do this off camera. Let's say you're doing a self-tape, jump up and down a bunch. Jump up and down, like actually get your heart rate up. Jump, 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 jump. Knees up, knees up, knees up, knees up. Really jump, really jump. Big jumps, big jumps, big jumps. Yeah, yeah, good. Now start off in the corner. Start off in the corner. Imagine you've got a flyer in your hand and just run in as fast as you can, and as though you have to like duck under something to get to that medium close up. And then you're going to say, "I'm here for the sale." So stand by and action. Run, 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 run.
"I'm here for the sale."
"It's on all week." And you say, "Oh."
Ew.
And you just kind of duck back out under the door. Oops, yeah, that's embarrassing. Boom, there he goes. So fantastic. Christina, you ready? Turn your video on and let's get you to play.
Wait, which one am I?
You're the same person. It's written for a young woman. So like 16 to 24-year-old girl. I'm just getting Caden to do it because he's got the enthusiasm, and then you can see the like 8-year-old version, right? Like all of the delight. But you're going to need to turn your video on.
Is it on?
Nope.
Can you see?
Can't. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Yeah, I put 2 cameras. I have 2.
That's what's going on. Here we go. Okay. So start in the corner. If you were submitting this, via
I have to have more
breakdown.
Right?
Yeah, of course, but you didn't know that you were going to, be taped today. So thanks for just being brave and jumping in. I used to love telling people to start off camera. At this point, it's very important, I think, to start where the camera can see you. Because often when you submit something electronically, if you're doing it particularly on EcoCast, which is Breakdown Services Actors Access, it uses the very first frame of the video as the lead frame. And so the very first thing that the decision makers see, if you're like, let's say you're fading in from black, very first thing they see is just like a blank black screen. If you're stepping in from off, is just your wall. And ideally you want them to see your face, even if it's just in the corner like Christine is right now. So jump up and down, get some energy in your body. Jump, 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 jump. Yeah. Because we want to believe that you're just like so stupidly, hugely excited about the sale. That's part of why commercials are silly, right? Is that like you're going to be way more excited about the sale than any human would be ever in real life. The stand by and action. Run, 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 run.
I'm here for the sale.
It's on all week.
Oh.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's exactly it, Christina. Fantastic. That's just what we wanted in terms of reaction. Oh my gosh, it's 4:30 already. Thanks for playing, everybody. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to have David C. Jones coming and giving us the benefit of his wisdom and experience. And then Thursday is going to be Ask Me Anything. And I'll have a script on deck in case y'all don't have questions and you show up and you're just like, I don't have questions. Then y'all have a script on deck so that we can go over our story questions and analyze it. Duke, thanks for coming to join us today. It was nice to see a new face. And to see some familiar faces.
Thank you.
That's it for me
so
today.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.